All right. Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Southwest Flavor. I'm your host, Ron Arenas, and we are here every Tuesday and Thursday at 9 a.m., bringing you different guests from throughout the Southwest, telling their story, what they do, who they are, and why they do what they do. And today we're sitting down with Val Romero from Arizona Grill and Hearth.
Aloha. Good morning. How are you doing today, Ron?
I'm doing great.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Thank you for coming in.
Appreciate it.
It's always a pleasure. We over the past several years, we spent a lot of time with each other.
We have. It's been awesome.
Yeah.
Usually it's because something related to food.
That's right. So that's always great. So you put on monthly classes to teach people how to smoke food.
Yes, this started, I think it's, how many years has it been? 5 years ago
5
or
or
so?
6,
Yeah. And it was something, a friend of mine, or ours, had come up and said, hey, you ever thought about doing that? And I said, no, let's do it. And then it started from there, and we had a time when when the world stopped for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then when we came back together, that's when you and Mickey kind of came back, and we revived Smoking 101.
Right. Yeah, I was in the second ever class that you guys put on, and I think Mickey was in that class too.
Mickey was in that class also.
Yeah. And then I took that class 2 more times. One of them was a big event that I did for my clients and employees. Mm-hmm. And then after COVID came and went, then I'm like, hey man, I want to do this more often.
You're part of the team. Come on, let's smoke some food.
Yep. So tell us a little bit what's involved with those classes.
So basically it's a few hour long class. It starts at 9 o'clock and ends at 3 o'clock. In this class, we're going to teach you a lot of techniques and different styles, and you're getting your hands dirty, basically.
Right,
you know,
right.
you've got gloves, but you're getting your gloves dirty, but they're on your hands. But you're prepping ribs, you're pulling off the membrane, you're seasoning them. We're doing a beer can chicken. You're making the mix that you're going to inject the chicken with. You're doing the injection. We're seasoning your lamb chops. You're seasoning your tri-tips. We do smoked peppers. You get to eat smoked cheese. So it's pretty much you get to prep all the food the first half of the day, and then you're eating the rest of the day. There are some things that I'm doing beforehand, like the pulled pork I have to do the night beforehand.
Right.
So you're not part of that, but someone's going to be in the class being the shredder and get the bare claws and shred up that pork shoulder so we can have a pulled pork sandwiches in the afternoon.
Oh, yeah. And they're delicious. And when you say that we're eating all afternoon, that's almost an understatement. You could almost take it to we're gorging ourselves in the afternoon. And you don't have to do that, of course.
Yes. When you come, you got to pace yourself. That's the biggest thing. Pace yourself with the food you eat because there's a lot.
There's a lot. And there's even always leftover take-home boxes. Mm-hmm. So you get to share that with your family after you take that class.
Yeah, it's a great way to learn, and then like I said, you get to reap the benefits by tasting what you've done, and then we do share the tri-tips so you can taste what other team members have done during the class, and you can kind of compare a little bit. But a lot of times it's really hard to mess it up.
Right.
You get a lot of flavor, going around the tables in those classes.
Yeah. And there's so many different opportunities to season it differently. I mean, some people like it hot. Some people like some of the meats a little bit sweet. Some of them like it a lot more salty or savory. And so you have that opportunity to mix all these different seasonings and get the taste that you think you're going to like, and then see how it turns out. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's great experimenting different seasonings with different flavors. A lot of people think you just have to put one seasoning on, which it's not the truth. You can put 2 to 3 different types of seasonings. And I know on my tri-tip, the one that everybody goes, oh, that's the best tri-tip. Yeah. I used 3 different seasonings on that, just because the first one was good. I did 2, great. Now it's awesome. I perfected it.
So I think there's a lot of people out there over the years that have said, I've tried smoked food and I don't like it. Mm-hmm. And what you have the greatest answer for that?
Yeah. Actually, there's a story. I had a mixer, and this lady, was enjoying the mixer, and she goes, "Well, thanks for hosting the event." She goes, "I really don't like smoked food." And I go, well, didn't you eat? She goes, yeah, I ate. Oh, I go, what was your favorite thing? Well, I like this, I like that, I like that. I go, well, all those things were smoked. She goes, what? I go, she goes, it didn't taste smoked. Well, I go, if it tastes smoked or tastes like a tree, then they're doing it wrong. But
Right. Exactly.
it's the process. You don't want to over smoke things where it tastes like smoke. You want to have a subtle smoke ring with a little bit of hint of the flavor. So some people think that they've had bad smoked food,
Right.
and that's unfortunate. Like I said, but after that, she was convinced that not all smoked food was the same.
Like you said, it's the process. It's the preparation and it's the process of the whole meal, and it makes the difference.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Again, like I said, then different smoke woods go with different types of meats as well too. Those are other things that we teach in the class.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, it's making me hungry right now. So you're there at Arizona Grill and Hearth. What do you do during the week? So these classes are once a month.
Yeah,
but,
they're on Saturdays from 9 to 3. Arizona Grill and Hearth, we actually specialize in building the outdoor kitchens. So we got the grills, the smoker, all the other accessories that go along with it. We also work with a lot of builders and contractors that we just sell them the equipment. They build it themselves. Okay. Then we also deal with the other part of our business, the hearth part, which is fireplaces. We do indoor fireplaces, outdoor fireplaces. We deal with a lot of semi-custom and custom homes and remodels for a lot of our clients. And then we also can do outdoor fire features, fire pits. We have some prefab ones, but most of the ones we do are more of the custom style fire pits. So that's the get our hands dirty during the week construction aspect of it. We do the retail part of our showroom also. But over the years, being around all this grilling equipment and learning so much in my many years, that's why I wanted to take that one Saturday a month and to be able to give people the opportunity to up their game. Because a lot of times when people get a smoker, they don't know what to do. And you can watch as many videos as you want online, and they say, do this for this long at this temperature, and you have to believe whatever food they're eating off of on the YouTube video tastes great, and then you try to say, well, it's not that good. What I do wrong, you can't ask any questions.
Yeah.
Where that's what the thing is with this class is you've got an opportunity to be, ask me questions, to ask you questions, to ask Mickey questions, because we've got so many years of experience in grilling and smoking that we can help guide if you're a beginner coming on here. I remember we had another customer come in that took the smoking class. After the smoking class, she was sending me pictures. Look what I did. It came out awesome. And those are the kind of things that we want. We want you to be excited about, doing awesome ribs, making a perfect pork shoulder, and sharing those things. And now you're sharing these with your friends and families.
Oh, yeah.
And again, it's encouraging, and this is why I continue to do it. If we have a small class of 3, I will always prefer a class of, 10 to 12. But, we want to give people that opportunity.
Right. And your family always gets the benefit from what you're cooking, but they're also a lot of times your harshest critics. So, which is good and bad, because if you make something that's not quite right, I mean, they're definitely going to tell you. They're not going to leave a bad review for you, but they're going to tell you, hey, that was kind of off. You need to, add something to it or take something away from it. Right.
Yeah, we run into those from time to time, and that's just the nature of cooking in general.
And experimenting. Yeah.
And I've been very grateful. Again, I land it pretty much most of the time, I'm sure, as you do. But like you said, there's sometimes like, a little too spicy.
Yeah.
A little of this, whatever,
Right. Yeah. Not enough salt.
Not enough salt.
Whatever it is.
And I know I'm my worst critic too. It's like, not enough salt.
Yeah. But that's how I was. I mean, I got my smoker and I'm like, ooh, what do I do now? Where do I go from here? And that's when, we first took the class.
Yeah, so obviously if you came back a couple times afterwards, you found the benefit. And we do have people that come to class multiple times. I had recently had a gentleman, he came to 2 classes. After a second class, he had a charcoal smoker, but he didn't know how to use it. And afterwards, like, you know what, the way that I cook, I need a pellet smoker. So I ended up buying a pellet smoker from us as well.
Yeah.
And that's also great for people that buy the smokers, like you said, and want to just up their game. And I've had people that have been doing smoking for years, and they came to a class that I learned so much more techniques in your class than I could have done anywhere else.
And even in the class, you have a little bit of theory. You know, you tell them, we're doing this because of this. And that's great. That's great for people like me, you know, because I kind of need to know the theory behind something. So if you say, hey, we're doing this part because it's going to affect it later on. So it's going to make the best, you know, whatever that meat, you know, later on.
Right. And I think one of the biggest ones there is, why do you remove the membrane on the ribs?
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't realize that you're supposed to do that.
Yeah.
And they wonder why their ribs are chewy. We got that membrane that's stuck on there.
Right.
Again, just do it because we do it this way. No. There's, like you said, there has to be a reason.
Yeah.
And then, you know, that's what we also talk about in these classes. You know, the difference between pellet smokers and charcoal smokers, and the different woods versus the different wood flavored pellets. So, you know, there's more than just food that's involved. It's the whole process, the difference between gas smokers, electric smokers, and again, like the pellet and the charcoal. So we discuss all of those things within the class.
Yeah. And the pellet smokers, for people that don't know, that's something that hasn't been around for a real long time, I don't think, but it's really opened it up to everyone.
Yeah. So pellet smoking is, because it's very simple. You set the temperature of your pellet smoker, and it basically does all the work for you.
Right.
You know, you even have Wi-Fi apps on your pellet smokers that I know my brother has one. He's could be grocery shopping. It's getting too hot. I'm going to turn down my grill here from the grocery store.
Because you don't cook for time, you cook to temperature.
Correct.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that you learn in class, but it's a huge thing. I mean, time is always approximate. You can say, oh, this is going to take 2 hours, but you're out there, either you have a probe in it, checking the temperature, or you physically go out there and check the temperature, and so that you know when it's going to be right.
Right, and that's the biggest thing also, is always cook to temp, never to time. The story I have is my sister, she was in Dallas, I was at a show, and she's like, you know, how come my chicken's always dry, you know, when we come back to town, yours is so moist? And I go, what temperature do you cook it to? She's like, what do you mean? So I had a thermometer. I said, here's a thermometer. Happy early birthday. And then next time you cook chicken, cook it to the proper temperature. And then I got a phone call, you know, a couple weeks later. Oh my gosh, the chicken breasts were so moist and juicy. I didn't realize you just had to cook it to the certain temperature. I kept overcooking it because I was afraid if I didn't cook it long enough. And once you realize you cook it to the right temperature, your food is phenomenal.
Right. And especially with like chicken and pork, you don't have to be scared that that's going to be underdone. You know that it's the proper temperature. It's safe for everyone to eat, and it's going to be juicy, and it's going to be delicious.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yes, a very important part of the class. You'll learn that. It'll be burned into your mind at the end of the class.
And that's one of the things that Mickey and I do throughout the classes. We're out there checking temperatures on the different meats and the different grills.
Yeah. So where the class is held inside, so we prep inside, and we put the food outside on the smoker. And there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. So for you and what Mickey do, being there, checking everything, prepping all the food ready for the next food that we're going to be putting on the table. So there's a lot of stuff that goes behind the scenes in our class that the class doesn't see, but it seems like it goes off without a hitch. So thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you.
We're a team. We're a team. So you also sell all these different grills and smokers.
Yes, we sell the different grills and smokers. And like I said, the Slash gentleman that ended up buying a pellet smoker, it was one of the smokers that we have on there. And then also the seasonings that we're using, usually I sell those also. So usually people will buy the different seasonings after class that they've used on some of their meals. Right.
And they can come back and get seasonings during the week when you guys are open.
Yep. And we are open Monday through Friday, 10 to 5. All
right. Very good. Well, we're going to take a quick sponsor break, and then we're going to come back talking with Val Romero, and we're talking about a little bit about smoking some delicious food. So come right back to us.
Shipping packages is a facet of modern commerce. At Tucson Pack and Ship, we work with major delivery companies to make sure your goods get where they need to go. In addition to shipping, we also offer private mailboxes, notary services, and document shredding. We'll also safely pack your valuable items. Tucson Pack and Ship. Tucson's one-stop packing and shipping source.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
Spring is here and the hot summer temperatures are not far away. Your air conditioning system is one of the biggest expenses in your house. Maintaining your air conditioner is critical to keeping you cool all summer long. Protect your investment by calling Picturox Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing at 520-492-0748 or picturoxcooling.com for fast, friendly, and professional service you deserve.
Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating and Plumbing.
TRAC stands for Therapeutic Ranch for Animals and Kids. It's a favorite service organization for the Wakies to support. TRAC, located at Dodge and River, is a one-of-a-kind ranch that offers children of various needs an opportunity to serve through interaction with animals. It's a win-win for children and all of our beloved animals. TRAC is eligible for your Arizona tax credit donations now through April 15th. To find out how to get a dollar-for-dollar credit off your Arizona tax bill and help kids and animals, head over to TRACTucson.org and go to the Support TRAC page to find out more. Make sure you tell TRAC my boy Smooch the Mini Donkey sent you.
If you ever have water damage or mold, your only call should be to Steamy Concepts.
Yeah, but what if the insurance company says to hire someone else?
Nope, Steamy Concepts works for you and not them.
The internet has tons of options.
No way, you don't gamble with water damage.
But the handyman knows a different guy.
Absolutely not. No way, you just call Steamy Concepts today.
But some companies are cheaper.
And you get what you pay for. You don't want to mess with water damage wannabes.
We're calling Steamy Concepts today.
Welcome back to Southwest Flavor. We're here talking with Val Romero of Arizona Grill and Hearth. And you have a class coming up this Saturday. April 12th.
April 12th from, again, 9 to 3.
Okay.
And actually, we do have a promo for any of your listeners. You can go to the kingofbbqs.com and then go to the class. And if you type in SW Flavor,
Flavor,
all capital letters, you'll get 50% off the class. So
oh, wow.
Class is normally $100. You're getting it for $50 if you sign up for this April class. So
that's a
incentive.
smoking deal.
It's a smoking deal.
Even if you paid full price for that class, I mean, just the food alone would be worth it. But then you get all the experience and knowledge, plus the food with it. So take advantage of that. Anyone that's out there listening, definitely go to the website and sign up for the class. It's this Saturday, April 12th. The class is from 9 to 3, so it's a full-day class. But like Val said, you are prepping the food the first half, and then you're tasting all of your creations the second half.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's some good stuff.
Yes, excited.
Well, you're not only a business owner and a smoking competitor, but you do something else too.
Yes, my biggest thing is I've always been big in community. As I know you are as well. A couple years back, I got involved, with wanting to better my community in different ways, and I ended up getting elected to the TUSD governing board.
Uh-huh.
So yes, this is a way for me to give back to my community and represent what I feel needs to be done in our schools, and my biggest thing is safety of our students and our faculty at school sites, and then how do we fix or improve their education, their proficiencies.
Right.
So I'm working.
Get those kids reading.
Writing. All those basic things. So it's been an eye opener as far as all the work that's involved. But again, it's my way to give back to our community.
Okay. All right. Way back, probably 20 years ago, I hired a kid right out of high school. He just graduated, and I handed him some instructions to put something together. He couldn't read. He graduated from one of TUSD's public high schools, but He couldn't read.
Yeah, and unfortunately, we have a proficiency problem in a lot of our schools, and they just move them on policies that, again, if I were there all these years ago, probably wouldn't be in place now.
Yeah.
But there are things that need fixing, and we do have some good quality students that are coming on out. I know there's a program up in Pueblo where they're sending some of their high school students after graduation to Harvard and Yale and Brown.
Wow,
You know,
fantastic.
yeah, and you would think, there's not a program like this at Pueblo, but then
Yeah.
there is. But then you also see there's other kids in other high schools that, when they don't show up to class, they're not sitting in the seat, they're not learning.
Yeah.
So, and there's other kids that don't take their education very seriously, and then they just get moved on to the next grade level because the level to pass to go to the next level is so low, unfortunately, in our district.
Man.
I would increase it. We grew up in, I think, a totally different
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Where if you didn't pass, you
got held back.
Algebra 101, you're not going to go to Algebra 201. You're going back to 101.
Right. Yes. Yeah, I took freshman English a couple times.
English as a second language.
But you're right. Yeah, they didn't have any problem holding you back then. I mean, they held you accountable, and you had to pass. Whatever it took to pass.
Right, and there's some schools that do a better job than that, and unfortunately, that's why I think we're losing a lot of our students to charters and private schools because they're held at a higher degree of education, and most parents are not just looking for a babysitter for their kids while they're at work. They want their children to have a good education.
Yeah.
Again, we can offer that in some of our schools. Unfortunately, we have some areas that we can improve in.
Okay. All right. Well, if you think about it, and this might be just me getting up on my soapbox, but if you think about it, these kids they're going through all the schooling right now. They're our future.
I know.
And we're not getting any younger.
I know.
So someone's going to have to, do the labor jobs and do the different jobs and help take care of us when we get older.
Yes, and one of the fortunate things we do have within TUSD is we do have, they're called CTE classes, career technical elective type classes. So
Okay.
like in some of our schools, we have diesel mechanics.
Oh,
we have
okay.
welding.
Yeah.
Like at Catalina, we have framing and drywall.
Okay.
We have welding and some other things at a lot of our other schools. So we do have some technical classes that
The
we
vocational,
do have.
yeah.
Yes, vocational.
They used to be called vocational,
yes,
yeah.
exactly. Another CTE.
Yeah.
There's a dentistry class down at Santa Rita that these kids are leaving high school and they're going to become, a dental hygienist, right from the get-go. People
That's
that
great.
are welders that are coming on out,
Yeah.
they're going to have a job right from the get-go. I think we need to do more of those classes because, like you said, not everybody's built to go to college.
No.
And we need people that are not, a lot of these kids are coming out, they're going to be this great programmer, they're influencer, blah, 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 like you, Ron. But, but the reality is we need people to do these labor type of jobs.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with it. You
No.
can make great money doing those kind of jobs. You
Yeah.
know, any kind of mechanical job, air conditioning, framing, plumbing. Just there's so many jobs out there that maybe were looked down upon 20 or 30 years ago, but now we have that shortage, and they're well-paying jobs,
They are.
and you don't carry all that student loan baggage.
Correct.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I'm all for the careers.
yeah, definitely. So tell us one more time how to find that class for this Saturday.
So you can go to thekingofbbqs.com, and there'll be a place that talks about Smoking 101, and just kind of click on that, and then you can pick the date of April 12th.
Uh-huh.
And then you'll go on down, click how many people you want, and then there'll be a coupon code, and it'll just type in again SW flavor, and then when you're getting ready to check out, it'll take off $50 per person, so it's per individual, so it's not just $50 off
wow.
per order. So it's
Okay.
if you have 2 people signed up, you'll get $100 off.
Wow, that's
I know,
fantastic.
it's the best deal I've ever done.
Yeah, it is.
One time only.
One time only. It's for this class, April 12th. But if for some reason you can't make that class, there is classes every month.
Correct.
When is next month's class?
Ooh, I was not prepared for
You're
that
not- I'm
question.
sorry, okay.
So May something.
May something. Okay. It's usually the first or second weekend.
Yeah, usually the first or second week. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, I'm kind of selfish this way because I got my grandkids every other Saturday. So when I don't have my grandkids, that's when we have a class.
Well, yeah. You have a life too, and I mean, it's a blessing. You get to spend all that time with your grandkids.
Yes, that's what someone's asking me. So what's your kind of keeps you enthused to do these things? I go, it's my grandkids.
Yeah, yeah.
They give me the smiles, the memories, they just opened up my heart in so many different ways.
Oh yeah, yeah. It is, and we can all see that because you post stuff on social media, and we see stuff in your shop and everything. They're your world.
They're my world. They're
Yeah.
my world. And my granddaughter opens up her ice cream shop usually on Fridays in the summertime when she doesn't have school. So she's looking forward to summertime so she can spend time with Grandpa and have her ice cream shop in the.
Yep. Yeah, and she gets to learn. She gets
Yep.
to learn about customer service and money and different things. I mean, that's so valuable.
Mm-hmm. And one of the things I found out, even going to our kids at these schools, the kids are willing to learn as much as you're going to give them. They don't have a limit on what they can learn.
Right.
As adults, we put limits on these kids. My grandkids have learned so much more than I had ever thought. Same thing with a lot of these kids. If we push them and give them the opportunity to learn, they'll absorb as much as we want, as much as we can give them.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, hey Val, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you again. Remember SW Flavor.
SW Flavor. All right, we will be right back in just a couple minutes with Southwest Flavor.
Shipping packages is a facet of modern commerce. At Tucson Pack and Ship, we work with major delivery companies to make sure your goods get where they need to go. In addition to shipping, we also offer private mailboxes, notary services, and document shredding. We'll also safely pack your valuable items. Tucson Pack and Ship, Tucson's one-stop packing and shipping source.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
Spring is here and the hot summer temperatures are not far away. Your air conditioning system is one of the biggest expenses in your house. Maintaining your air conditioner is critical to keeping you cool all summer long. Protect your investment by calling Picturox Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing at 520-492-0748 or picturoxcooling.com for fast, friendly, and professional service you deserve.
Picture rocks cooling, heating and plumbing.
TRAC stands for Therapeutic Ranch for Animals and Kids. It's a favorite service organization for the Wakies to support. TRAC, located at Dodge and River, is a one-of-a-kind ranch that offers children of various needs an opportunity to serve through interaction with animals. It's a win-win for children and all of our beloved animals. TRAC is eligible for your Arizona tax credit donations now through April 15th. To find out how to get a dollar-for-dollar credit off your Arizona tax bill and help kids and animals, head over to tracktucson.org and go to the Support TRAC page to find out more. Make sure you tell TRAC my boy Smooch the Mini Donkey sent you.
If you ever have water damage or mold, your only call should be to Steamy Concepts.
Yeah, but what if the insurance company says to hire someone else?
Nope, Steamy Concepts works for you and not them.
The internet has tons of options.
No way, you don't gamble with water damage.
But the handyman knows a different guy.
Absolutely not. No way, you just call Steamy Concepts today.
But some companies are cheaper.
And you get what you pay for. You don't want to mess with water damage wannabes.
We're calling Steamy Concepts today.
All right, we are back with Southwest Flavor. We're just talking with Val Romero, and now we're talking with one of my other buddies. He's pretty much my smoking partner. Mickey, how you doing?
Pretty good, man.
Good.
Smoking meats.
Smoking meats, yes, yes. I know. I always get different reactions when I talk about smoking, and they're like, "Oh, I didn't know you were into that."
Yeah.
like, no, man, no, it's okay. It's mostly pork and chicken and beef.
yeah. Ribs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, we've been doing this together for a couple years, helping Val out with his classes, which is just, it's been a tremendous experience, but it brought us closer too.
Oh,
We're already friends, but now we're really good friends.
We get to hang out, and that's probably one of the things I look forward to the most is hanging out with like-minded people like yourself, and getting to share a little bit about our week and talk about our goals and just have a good time. So
and you and I always talk a little bit about how it's almost, even though we're washing the pans and we're getting the grills ready and doing all this kind of laborious stuff, but it's almost like therapy.
Yes, it's almost therapeutic. I say that all the time. When I'm feeling, when I'm feeling outside of the box or just kind of feeling a little, weird or whatever, I'll barbecue to get that sense of, calmness or whatever. Like just like someone would go fishing or someone would go, on a hike. I get that same feeling when I barbecue. So,
right.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when we're in those classes, we kind of shut the world out.
Yeah.
And just concentrate on what you're doing.
Yeah, it's very therapeutic for sure.
Yeah. Tell us what got you started in grilling and barbecuing, because you always have a good little story.
So I want to say I was no older than 10, maybe 11, and we were hanging out at one of my uncle's house, and all the cousins were there. The dogs were running around, and we were all playing. And I just remember looking over, and the grill was just glowing. Like the coals were just bright red. And I just made a V line to that.
They're calling to you?
Yeah. And I just stood there with my uncle, and he taught me how to make burgers, and all my other cousins were just, they kept playing, but I was just so,
you're like fascinated with it?
Yeah, so fascinated.
Yeah.
I was so that was really when, it clicked for me. And then after that, I was always by the barbecue with my uncles and just waiting for my turn to, to take over the grill. And now, now I got several grills. I got a smoker, I got a regular grill, I got a flat top. I got,
Yeah, it's kind of addictive.
It is. I'm planning on getting a Green Mountain this year.
Oh, okay.
That's my next smoker I want.
Nice investment. Yeah. Very nice. Yeah, I was the same way. I don't know if I had that moment or that turning point, but I grilled for a long time, and then I taught all three of my boys how to grill. They all learned how to grill by the age of 10.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's something I think everybody should
Yeah.
learn.
Yeah.
It's healthy. It's a real healthy way of cooking food and meal prepping and all that. So.
Yeah, and they can go out there and make a quick burger or, a little steak or pork chop or something quick and easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So what do you do during the week?
Well, I am with People's Mortgage, so I'm a mortgage professional. And so during the week I'm either on the field or in the office, holding meetings and doing different things. And I love what I do. I love helping people. I love educating people on the process. Right now, things are a little crazy with the market.
Yeah. I think it's always some kind of craziness. I mean, back when we had the 2.5 to 3.5%, it was insane.
That was nuts. Yeah. And so I always tell people that they ask me, do you think we're ever going to get back to that point? And I tell them, well,
probably not.
Yeah. I mean, probably not. That you have to think about it. That was a worldwide pandemic that caused the federal government to take action because people were very scared, and the credit markets were going to freeze up. Mm-hmm. And so they had to do something.
Had to keep that money flowing.
It might have been a little too aggressive, which is kind of, we're kind of seeing that effect now with inflation and stuff like that. But as far as, the tariff stuff going on right now, the markets are really volatile to that. So we're still kind of waiting to see how that plays out. We had a super good couple days last week where we had one of the best days in the market. And we were at our lowest point since last October. But as quick as we got that, yesterday, Monday, we gave it all back. So the market's still trying to decide what the tariffs are going to do. If we if they slow the economy down, that may happen. It could affect different markets, and
Sure.
but at the same time, that could help the feds to maybe start cutting interest rates.
Right. And I
more.
think they've talked about
Yeah.
possibly having a couple interest rate.
Yeah, so right now they're talking about 3 to 4 cuts.
Wow. Okay.
3 to 4 cuts this year. So
That's pretty aggressive.
Yeah, so based on what's going on right now. So
Yeah.
that's that's kind of, what's going on in the market right now.
Right. Right. You probably don't see a lot of refinances because people that had a
No.
3.5,
Yeah.
4%
Yeah,
mortgage, and they're not going to refinance
No.
it for
Yeah,
7%.
no, we're still pretty flat in,
Yeah.
as far as markets go, as the interest rates go, but people do want to tap into their equity. There's always a second mortgage option.
Okay. Is that
So-
like a HELOC?
No, not
No?
necessarily HELOC. So there are
Okay.
HELOCs, but this is a second mortgage, which the interest rates are a little lower than a HELOC.
Oh.
And
Okay.
it's a 30-year fixed, so you can.
Oh, wow.
you
Okay.
can-
Just like a regular mortgage,
yeah,
but you're
so you
taking a
don't.
second one.
Yeah,
off
and
of
you
it.
don't. So that way you don't have to touch your first.
Yeah.
If you have a 2.5 or a 2.75 or 3, even then and you need a little money, maybe $50,000. You want to take a vacation, or that'd be a big
Hopefully
vacation.
not just for a vacation.
That'd be a big
yeah.
vacation, but or remodel your home,
Yeah.
or just whatever you want to do. You can do that
Right.
instead of doing a full refinance. And
Do you see a lot of people doing that?
yeah, I've done a few. I've done
Okay.
a few in the last couple years.
Yeah.
Since the rates have gone up a little bit, so it's an option. It's out there. Yeah.
And is there any programs for like first time home buyers?
There are
Yeah?
there are some really good programs out there right now. The Lighthouse is probably the one that comes to mind.
Okay.
It's a Pima County program specific to Pima County. So
Okay.
a home buyer that would qualify, there are specific qualifications, credit score, 640 credit score,
Yeah.
plus they get 4% towards their down payment and closing costs,
Oh, wow.
which would help them, and usually below market interest rates.
Okay.
So we just had one that just came out, and they issued $25 million, and that money was gone in an hour.
Really?
Yes. So,
Wow.
so I know that we have $51 million allocated
Uh-huh.
for this year. So that was the first wave. There will be a second wave. We haven't got that announcement yet, but what I recommend is people get pre-qualified and get going ready now.
Yeah.
Because the strategy is to be pre-qualified and get under contract about a couple weeks before that money comes out. And that kind of,
You're ready to strike.
yeah, you're ready
Yep.
to go. And once you're under contract, we can lock you in on with those funds, with those rates.
Wow.
So
That's that's amazing. 25 million in an hour just in
an
Pima
hour.
County.
Yep, just in Pima County.
Wow.
So people are buying homes.
Yeah.
It is, timing, I would say is probably that's probably what you want to look for.
Yeah.
What you want to focus on is the timing. And right now, like I said, the markets are very volatile. So, we'll hopefully wait to see what happens. But there are good indications that the Fed should be cutting interest rates fairly soon.
Okay. Well, I know there's a saying, and I'm probably not saying it completely right, but there's a saying that's like marry the house and date the mortgage rate.
Date the rate, yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, if you find the house, people need housing. We need to live.
Sure.
We need a place to live. If you find the house that you really like, and if it's within your budget,
Mhm.
go for it, right? Because
Yeah.
housing historically has gone up year over year. We're not seeing the appreciation we had in those 2 years, 2021.
Right.
But homes are still appreciating.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I
They're
don't-
probably
I-
not ever going to go down.
And I don't see, the demand is so high still. People are talking about a crash, this, that. There's no mechanism for a crash.
Yeah.
Because the demand's so high.
Right.
So, if you're interested in a home, that's what I recommend is get pre-qualified. At least you know where you're at. Set some goals with, with a professional like me.
Yeah.
And, we can go from there.
Yeah, I remember many years ago when we were looking for a home, that was the first thing. They're like, you need to get pre-qualified, and that way you know what you qualify for, so that you can look at houses in your range.
Mm-hmm. I equate it to a road trip, right? You can't get to Vegas without a map.
Yeah,
it's the same thing.
Yeah.
So
so you need to talk to your professionals. You need to lay out that map, and then you can go out and you can check out the houses that you're going to qualify for. I mean, there's no use going and looking at $1 million or $2 million houses when you're going to qualify for a $500,000 house.
Yeah. Or then at least okay, I need to add another person to the loan.
Or maybe I need to wait a little bit longer. Maybe your credit score isn't where it needs to be.
Work on your credit score, and we have tools to help. I have tools to help you with that too.
Okay.
I can do a little credit plan. I'm not per se a credit expert, but we do have credit software that helps, generally give you an idea of what you can do to increase your credit score.
Yeah. And I know from talking to other people many years ago, there's things like, once you get under contract with that house, you don't go buy a brand new car.
Oh yeah, no.
Or you don't go buy a house full of furniture and finance it.
No, that can really mess up the funding part.
Yeah.
I actually had a customer that we're at the signing table, and they said, "Oh, great, we're gonna go buy some furniture." I said, "No." I said, "Please wait. I'll let you know." Typically, I tell people when the keys are in your hands, that means
it's finalized. Yeah.
And usually, the real estate agents don't give those keys until I tell them that the loan has funded.
Right.
So there is a process to it, and the county is recorded. Once it's recorded, then it then becomes public records. That's why you get all those spam mail and afterwards, and everybody's trying to,
Oh my goodness, I know. I remember that. I remember after we financed our house, and we probably got 2 or 3 pieces of mail every day for like a year.
Yep.
Say, hey, we can refinance your house. It's like, man, I just closed on this house a week ago.
Yeah. So there's you got to watch out for that. But once you buy a home, you have everything that you need. So if you have any questions, again, refer to your professional,
right?
The professional, and they'll let you know if it's legit or not.
Yeah.
Most of the time, it's not.
Right. They want to get your information.
Yep.
Yeah. So you're here local. You're here in Tucson, Pima County, Marano Valley. You're here in that area, so you can answer people's questions. Mm-hmm. They can call you. They can email you. They'll see you at least a couple times probably during the process if they need to.
Oh yeah. I'm very hands-on. I always say that the transactions that go very well are the people that come in and meet me in person.
Yeah.
We can do everything online, which is, a lot of times is, what happens nowadays is, a lot
especially
of
if people are buying from out of state.
And so we can work with them. But if you're local, I really recommend you coming in and sitting down face to face and getting all the questions answered.
Yeah, definitely.
And those are the transactions that make it to the finish line.
Yeah.
If you invest your time, I'm willing to invest my time,
Right. I remember when we were buying our house, our realtor told us, whatever they ask for, you need to do it, and you need to do it in a timely manner. So if they're asking for paycheck stubs, get them to them. If they're asking for this, just get it to them.
Yeah. And I think what happens is people kind of, you're in it, right? So you kind of freeze up, or I'm going to pay off a car and do this and do that. And you want to do all these things all at once. But the big focus is to get the house closed first.
Yeah. Get to that finish line.
Yeah. And then worry about paying off the car and doing the other things that you want to do, because doing that all at once will just makes the transaction so much more stressful. It's already stressful to begin with.
Yeah.
For the loan officer and you as the customer. So definitely listen to what your loan officer has to say.
Right.
You
you guys are asking for a lot of information and a lot of
and that's what it is.
Paycheck stubs, every couple of weeks or whatever. But you guys are just you're protecting your investment. You're making sure that they didn't lose their job through the process, or
ultimately the end investor wants to know. The end investor wants to know that when they fund this deal, that it's still good.
Yeah.
So that's we protect the investor and the customers. Best interest. So
definitely. Well, let's go to a sponsor break, and we'll be back in just a couple minutes.
Shipping packages is a facet of modern commerce. At Tucson Pack and Ship, we work with major delivery companies to make sure your goods get where they need to go. In addition to shipping, we also offer private mailboxes, notary services, and document shredding. We'll also safely pack your valuable items. Tucson Pack and Ship, Tucson's one-stop packing and shipping source.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
Spring is here and the hot summer temperatures are not far away. Your air conditioning system is one of the biggest expenses in your house. Maintaining your air conditioner is critical to keeping you cool all summer long. Protect your investment by calling Picturox Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing at 520-492-0748 or picturoxcooling.com for fast, friendly, and professional service you deserve.
Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing.
TRAC stands for Therapeutic Ranch for Animals and Kids. It's a favorite service organization for the Wakies to support. TRAC, located at Dodge and River, is a one-of-a-kind ranch that offers children of various needs an opportunity to serve through interaction with animals. It's a win-win for children and all of our beloved animals. TRAC is eligible for your Arizona tax credit donations now through April 15th. To find out how to get a dollar-for-dollar credit off your Arizona tax bill and help kids and animals, head over to TRACTucson.org and go to the Support TRAC page to find out more. Make sure you tell TRAC my boy Smooch the Mini Donkey sent you.
If you ever have water damage or mold, your only call should be to Steamy Concepts.
Yeah, but what if the insurance company says to hire someone else?
Nope, Steamy Concepts works for you and not them.
The internet has tons of options.
No way, you don't gamble with water damage.
But the handyman knows a different guy.
Absolutely not. No way, you just call Steamy Concepts today.
But some companies are cheaper.
And you get what you pay for. You don't want to mess with water damage wannabes.
We're calling Steamy Concepts today.
Welcome back to Southwest Flavor. Talking with Mickey. There's some other stuff going on in your life too.
Yeah.
What's new with your life?
Well, there's a lot of new stuff. But recently I been studying to get my life insurance license to help people protect themselves. Heaven forbid, everybody's going to die.
Yeah.
So I've been working on that, and I just passed my test.
Cool. Congratulations.
Yeah, it was a couple weeks ago. I just passed my test.
You've been working on it for a while.
Yeah, for a little while. I did not pass my first test. I got a 69. You need a 70.
Oh man,
I know.
You're right there.
Yes, but I passed my second test with it. With the high 80s and high 80s and so yeah, I'm super excited about this next chapter as well as my mortgage business. They kind of go hand in hand.
Mm-hmm.
On one aspect, I'm essentially putting people into debt,
Yeah.
and then with the life insurance, I'm helping protect that asset for them. Heaven forbid they die.
So tell us why would someone want to inquire about life insurance when they're getting a mortgage?
Well, I mean,
say a young husband and wife.
Exactly.
Come in.
It's gonna be a big investment, and you want to make sure you set yourself up. Heaven forbid something does happen to either the wife or the husband.
Mm-hmm.
That way, it takes that stress away that the mortgage is paid, and you can kind of make other bigger the decisions you have to make during that time period.
Yeah.
Of mourning or whatever, and it kind of it takes that.
Well, if it covers the mortgage, then the family can most likely stay in the home.
Yeah.
If there was that tragedy.
Yeah, and then you don't have to go through the whole selling and finding a new place, and so I'm excited about that. I'm excited about helping people do that. So
That's something about you that like every aspect of what you do has something to do with helping people. I mean, I've known you for many years, and everything that you do is something about helping people,
Thanks, man.
Yeah. That's just, I probably the way that you're raised.
Yeah, no, I was very fortunate to be raised in a very loving family. And so, at this point in my life, I just want to pay it back.
Yeah.
Pay it back and help people as much as possible. Yeah, so.
And to a little degree, that's what we do on our smoking classes.
Oh,
our
yeah.
Smoking 101.
We help people, I think, tap into the creative self, you know? 'Cause that's what I tap into when I'm barbecuing. I like getting creative with it and just making some funky stuff, trying different recipes. I have this barbecue grape chipotle rib that I make. And
You've told me about it several times. I haven't tried it yet.
Yeah, so you get Welch's grape jelly, and you'll put it in the wrap, and then you put the chipotle chilies with the sauce, and you wrap it up, and it comes out awesome. It comes out killer.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll put a little fresh rosemary in there just to kind of give it a little savory.
With the grape, really?
Yeah, a little savory.
Oh, wow.
So my palate, I'm always shooting for savory, sweet, salty.
Yeah.
So if you can hit all those notes, that to me is that's the best.
Yeah. And on the ribs, the process that we do, there's different layers of flavor in there.
Yeah.
Because at different times during the cooking process, we put different seasonings on there.
Yeah, the 3-2-1 method that they teach in the class. And we actually have a class coming up on Saturday.
We do, April 12th.
Yeah, that's going to be fun.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I have a couple of buddies of mine that are going to take the class, so that would be cool. To hang out with them. And,
and you'll be back there behind the scenes doing everything, running around.
Oh, yeah.
Getting everything prepped and checking temperatures. And
oh, yeah. So I'm going to make sure it's on Fahrenheit this time. We have a running joke. I accidentally put the tester on Celsius.
Yeah.
And so we fixed that. It's on Fahrenheit now.
Right. What's one of your favorite things to smoke when you're at home?
My favorite thing to smoke is the tri-tip.
Okay.
I love a tri-tip. It's easy.
It is. It's pretty quick.
It's
in the
quick.
smoking world, it's a pretty quick.
Yeah, it's pretty quick. It's not huge in the barbecue circuit yet. I mean, it's mostly like a southwest region.
Right. Big in Santa Maria, California.
Yeah, that's kind of what it's known for.
I think it's growing here in the Arizona market.
Oh yeah. But I mean, you can smoke a tri-tip in about 30 minutes and then hit it on the grill with a reverse sear another 15 minutes and that thing's done. So within an hour 15 minutes, you have just, I think, one of the best cuts of meat out there. Yeah. Like I'll even eat that over a steak sometimes, Well,
the good thing is, I mean, there's a few different dishes that they're pretty quick to smoke. And that way you can do it on the weekdays when you get home from work. Maybe have it prepped already, sitting in the refrigerator, and then you get home, 5 or 6 o'clock at night, and you can throw it on the smoker and have it ready, like you said, in an hour to an hour and a half. And that's pretty reasonable. I mean, you can do that. And then on Saturdays or Sundays, that's when you can do your longer things, your pulled pork, your brisket, your ribs. Those things take longer.
The ribs take, to do a good rib. I mean, we do them. It takes us like
about 5.5 to 6 hours.
6 hours to do the ribs.
And that's cooking time. That's not prep time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you always have to add a little bit of prep time in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
depending on which cut of meat, it is. But I mean, we do a lot of pork, chicken. I do salmon on my smoker. I love salmon on there.
Oh yeah. The salmon's excellent. I actually like grilling my salmon. So I'll throw mine on the grill. And I'll buy it with the skin. Yeah. So you can just get that really high heat and you throw it skin down. Yeah. And it takes probably about 15 minutes, if that.
Yeah, that's quick.
It's quick.
That's quick.
And you can and then the skin just comes right off.
Yeah.
And you still get that char kind of flavor from the grill. So yeah, super super good.
And doing, cooking this way, I mean, you're not cooking it, you're not frying it in oil.
Yep. Nope.
You don't have the preservatives and stuff in it. I mean, it's a pretty basic way to cook it, but I mean,
It's caveman style.
It is. But a lot of the fats and stuff are dripping off of it,
Oh, yeah.
so it's a good way to cook, and it's pretty healthy. And throw a couple vegetables on there with it, and
Yep.
you're doing good.
And then it's a good way to meal prep too. I mean, when I grill, if I'm doing chicken or I'm doing, I'll throw extra chicken on there
Right.
and, just have it for the next few days or, for the week. And I can make my meal preps and do that, that way I can keep going during my day.
Right.
Yeah.
That's basically what I did this weekend. On Saturday, I did a bunch of chicken thighs.
Yep. Oh,
and
those are the
and I
best.
did the lamb chops.
Oh, you did the lamb chops.
I love
Oh,
the
yeah.
lamb chops.
Those
Ever
are-
since
those are
Val
pretty
started
good.
doing those in class, man, that's probably one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Definitely is.
I've gotten fond of them. I was like, at first they kind of tripped me out, but
They have a little bit of a different taste.
yeah, they do have a different,
little bit maybe like gamey or
a little gamey taste. But depending on the seasonings you throw on,
yeah.
that really changes that changes
Oh,
the
yeah.
flavor.
Oh
So
yeah.
I
And then-
like a more salt and pepper forward on those.
Yeah. And then on Sunday I did a huge meatloaf and I stuffed it with pepper jack
Oh,
cheese.
nice.
Yeah, and put a
heck
tomato glaze on it.
Ooh, nice.
The only bad thing is the family ate everything and there's no leftovers. I was really looking forward to having it on Monday or Tuesday, but
Yeah.
just have to make another one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Might do a ham. I might do a ham for Easter.
Yeah.
So I'll do it, just those spiral hams you get from the
Oh, yeah.
the store. So you can get those spiral hams and they're already smoked
Mm-hmm.
and they're already cooked. So what I do is I'll get like apple jelly and I'll put chitapin,
Oh.
the little peppers,
Yeah.
crushed peppers, and I'll heat it up and I'll get it to where it's, you can
More liquid.
yeah, liquidy, and I'll get it to the heat I want, the taste I want, and then I'll just baste that.
Mhm.
I'll just baste that over the already cooked and smoked ham, and it comes out phenomenal.
I
So it's
bet.
like a triple smoked ham,
Right.
triple host mat with a little apple jelly and triple. Yeah.
Yeah. So real quick, tell us how people can get a hold of you if they need to inquire about either the life insurance or the mortgage.
Yeah. So either by phone or email. My phone number is 520-360-1559, 520-360-1559. And then you could also email me at mickeyb@peoplesmortgage.com. So,
All right. Hey man, thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
it's
I always enjoy this. So
Yeah, it's
I
been a pleasure.
appreciate you including me in this.
All right. Well, that's a wrap for another episode of Southwest Flavor. Join us every Tuesday and Thursday at 9 a.m. And we'll see you here on Thursday.